All praises to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to apostle elders in New York, GMS. Salutations to you all around the world that's teaching truth and your lives on the line for it. And shalom to you, Sirius Aqua. My name is Maya Ka'ala Bungad, Wichita branch of Great Millstone. All right. And so we're going to comment, critique, and correct this guy named I Am Bantu. All right, you can see right here, he don't believe in a 12-tribe chart. All right, well, you know, the Heavenly Father opened his eyes to it, you know. All right, you clearly see it right here with this guy, African Israelite. All right, you're not going to see African Israelite in the scriptures. All right, you're not going to see Yahweh calling his people African Israel. All right, we're separate from African. All right, African for the Bible word for really the Hamites. All right, descendants of Ham. Those are the actual people that fall under the label Africans, so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans. I'm not Africans. The bloodline sham. No Cam doctrines, no 12-tribe chart. Torah only. All right, so this guy, he's leaned to his own understanding, but who did he learn from? He had to see the camps from the descent from One West, whether it's us, Great Millstone, IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, etc., man. All right. How come you're not there teaching out like the scriptures tell you to? They tell you that in the Old Testament. I'm gonna tell you, so I'm gonna let you find out for yourself. All right, you look for yourself. All right. I'm just gonna show this guy. Esau the Arab. DNA. All right, there's no DNA in the original 12 patriarchs of Israel, man. All right. I'm gonna show the comments. I think I've seen on either that video or this video. The tribe of Issachar. All right. This map is of Africa, 1520. I'm gonna deal with that in a little bit. So I'm gonna look at the comments. Let me see. Thank you. Whoa, good job. See, Drake just simple, man. This is what Queer 8 asks him. Yeah, it says, at Bantu, is it true? Why did they sell out their own people? All right. Now, you had Jason, West Africa, they sell their own people. Not majority of people think, but the people that's really doing the dealing was Ham and Esau, Ishmael. Ham, so-called Africans. Esau, so-called white man. Ishmael, so-called Arabs. Look what this dummy put right here. I am Bantu. This also fit other translation of Deuteronomy 28:68, where it says, "You will sell yourselves unto your enemy." See, he don't understand that. This guy is dumb, man. That's what I was talking about when it says "sell yourself" in Deuteronomy 28. Matter of fact, let me go to it, man. I'm gonna come back to this. The Hebrew word is makar. In Deuteronomy 20:68, when it says soul, but it's not talking about that. Right? It's not talking about Jake selling Jake, man. This guy. All right. Hold on for a minute. Just be patient with me. And I made a shorter version of this on YouTube, but I'm going to go more into it. All right, so right here, Deuteronomy 28:68. Right. This guy, man. You may as well just go ahead, just be a member of Vocab Alone Church, man. All right, Makar. It sell away, sell to be sold, given or to death, to sell oneself. But what do it mean when you talking about sell oneself? It's not talking about Because the Most High, he don't need money. All right. He owns everything. So it's talking about what? He giving us up to the other nations. All right. And there's a lot of these Christians and scoffers like to try to use this, all right? They try to use that particular scripture. They had no understanding of it. All right. Yep, here go right here, Psalm 44:12. This is King David prophesied, thy sellest thy people for naught, and does not increase thy wealth for does not increase thy wealth by their price. All right, so the Most High gave us up because we violate the law, statutes, commandments. All right. So it's right. So that's what it's talking about. All right, in fact, let me go to sold. Go to the book of Judges. All right, and I'm gonna try not to make this long, but hey, the Spirit has it that way. It's gonna go that way. All right. Here right here, Judges 4:2, and Yahweh sold them to the hand of Jabal, the king of Canaan, reigned, and Hazar, the captain, whose host was Sisera, was dwelt in Haresh, or Gentiles. Why? Because Jake was going off. All right, therefore the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel. He sold them to the hand of Cusharish, king of Mesopotamia. The children of Israel served Cusharishatham 8 years. All right, you go, it says sold. It's going to give you more car. All right, so that's what sold mean in Deuteronomy 28. Yahweh gave us up to our enemies. Why? Because we violate the laws, statutes, commandments. All right. And Most High didn't give the kings, the Canaanite king, he get the Canaanite king, no, he get no money from the Canaanite king, he get no money from the Mesopotamian king. All right, man, he gave us up unto these other nations. All right, so that's what it's talking about Deuteronomy 28. You should sell yourselves. All right, in other versions of the scripture, but it said you will, it basically means Jake was going on. Most High gave us up to other nations. That's what it means. Different versions, translation, and Deuteronomy 26, the other scripture. We see a scripture like that guy was using. Go to originally, that's what it means. All right. All right, so let's go back to this little video. All right. This is like this our TikTok. Right.
This map
all right, so you're talking about
is of Africa.
All right, you can see right here. It says Issachar. See where the hand at? All right.
1520. Now, if you look closely on this map, you can see in Nigeria, or the region of Nigeria, where it says Issachar. This map was made by Giovanni Battista Ramuzio. Now, is it a coincidence that, according to people in Nigeria, the name Tula is of Yoruba origin? It means God is worth more than wealth, or worth of wealth, or equal in weight as wealth. In Deuteronomy 33:18, and of Zebulun, he said.
All right. This guy clearly know what he's talking about, man. All right, first of all, Israelites are scattered all over the earth. It was prophesied they would be scattered all over the earth, man. All right, just because you see Issachar, Ephraim on the map of Africa don't mean that they're the only set of Issachar or Ephraim over there in the world, man. All right, this guy just clearly just trying to justify himself of hating the Latin-speaking tribes and the so-called Native Americans make up the northern kingdom of Israel. All right, we said Latin-speaking tribe, we're talking about people of paternal indigenous descent. All right, in this case, the people of paternal indigenous descent of Mexico, Issachar. All right, Yashakar, which means he is hired. All right. Alright, so let's go right here, Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 32. Let's go right here. Deuteronomy 32 and 26. It said, I said, I will scatter them into the corners. I will make remembrance of them cease from among men. All right, so right here, Yahweh said he will scatter who? The 12 tribes of Israel all over the earth. All right. So he's talking about Second Esdras chapter 13, verse, let me see, 41. But they took this counsel among themselves that they will leave the multitude of the heathen, go forth into the fertile country where never mankind dwelt. All right, you go to Africa, man, mankind dwelt there. It's really called the land of Ham. All right, you can easily read that in Genesis 12. It's not no West Africa, man. All right. Connects with Africa is what Morocco, who lived there, the sons of Put live in that region, man. Stretches from Morocco all the way to Libya, man. All right. It says right here, it says Genesis 12, all right, verse 10, saying there was a famine in the land. Abraham went down into Egypt, sojourned there, for the famine was grievous in the land. All right, so you have people already living in Africa. Sons of Mizraim, you have Cush, so-called Ethiopians. All right, so I was right, and then it says a year and a half. It don't take a year and a half to get to Africa, man. You're an idiot if you believe that. Right, something wrong with you. Your mama dropped you on your head. You was a baby, man. All right, and this is all just to say, this, they try to use that scripture and this doctrine, trying to justify their false doctrine, man. All right. So let's get in the scriptures, man. It says, Genesis 49-14. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between burdens, right? The burrow sign, tribe of Issachar. All right. Couching down between burdens, Mexico and America. All right, because over there in Mexico, Esau rule. Over here in America, Esau rule. So it's a burden to Esau, man. Salak is a burden to Issachar. All right, so-called Mexicans. All right. Because they catching hell in the other country, they catching hell in the other country. All right, it said, and he saw that the rest was good. The siesta they have. All right. The land, it was pleasant. All right, land is beautiful, Mexico. That's where everybody go there every year, including you black on Israelites. You go to Mexico. All right, and bow his shoulder to bear and became a servant unto tribute. All right, so you go over here with servant name. All right. And he ain't talking about just a waiter, you get tips and all that stuff. He go home. Nope. All right. Talking about pure slavery. Matter of fact, it's abad. Or in Arabic, it's abid. When they call Jake abid. Abid means slave, man. All right. So abad means what? To serve till enslaved, to keep in bondage, be bondage, bondservant, compelled. All right. So that's what it's talking about. So, when Esau came on the scene from Spain, all right, Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, became slaves. All right, they became slaves, man. All right, so let's get this book right here, Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids by Peter Tompkins, say page 14. It said Mexican slaves by the thousand, many of them highly skilled as sculptors, carpenters, masons, gardeners, haul stone, timber from the breeze of, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Tenochtitlan. All right. Let's continue on the page. It says chisel and iron hammer able enough to cut porous red stone or valley into past European houses or the doors, which knew how Digos could place their carved echelons where Indians' palaces and pyramids had stood. Churches and monasteries sprang up complete with the battlements, buttress, and heavy grilled windows against the Indians who had built them. Surviving on drinking water and a few tortillas, the Indians at their own expense supplied all the work and all the material brought up from childhood to expiring life. Trained to endure pain, they worked long hours without fatigue. All right, that's why they called a wild ass a burro, man, because they can endure, they can work long. And Esau knows this. All right, that's why Esau hired. You see so-called Mexicans working in. I seen so-called Mexicans work construction in Chinatown, man. They work in those kitchens. PF chain, all those Chinese food, right? They everywhere, man. It's that constantly subject to unbelievable savagery by the Spanish. Individuals were torn from their families to work as slaves in the gold mines and the silver mines, brand on their faces each time they changed masters. the pretty women were raped and infected with smallpox, leprosy, all manners of plagues by 1545 in Texas alone. 250,000 Indians had died of plague altogether, 3 million. The women raped us in Deuteronomy 28 and 30. All right. In Genesis 49, they came what? A servant, slave, man. It says right here, it says the Flemish artists Diodor by depict Indians hanging themselves or taking poison to acts of mass suicides from the shock at the overthrow of their culture. So great was the terror in Mexico about 1530. The Indians desisted from relations with their wives to avoid having children doomed to slavery. When asked to describe Christians or old cheap reply, they asked for maize and honey, for cotton, for women, for gold, for silver. Christians went on work. They are liars, gamblers, perverse, and they swear. Right? So they try to keep their children from going to slavery. Right? Let's go right here. Go to what? Deuteronomy 20. Let me get this back. All right. Go to Salah. Deuteronomy 28. All right, what it says. It says right here, Deuteronomy 28. All right, 32, it says, thy sons, thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Thy eyes shall look and fail for a longer form all day long. There shall be no might in thy hands. So he was killing their children. They won't go into slavery or prevent themselves. All right. Anyway, it says, so like they prevent themselves to have children. It says right here, Deuteronomy 28:30, thou shalt betroth a wife, another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, thou shalt gather grapes thereof. Right? So the women, they marry or engage to Issachar men, so-called Mexican men. And Esau came in and raped them. And then what? They went to say they build a house. They didn't throw them. Thou shalt plant a vineyard. They got ready to make slaves out of them, man. All right. Then you go to Deuteronomy 28 and 37. They later called Mexican, Indian, Beaner. All right. Spick. Even the word, the N word. All right. It says right here, Deuteronomy 28:37. It said, thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations where Yahweh shall lead thee. In the word Mexicans, man. That's a watered down version, a corrupt version of saying Mashiach. They call itself Meshika. That goes back to Mashiach, the anointed one. All right. Where is that? Deuteronomy. Where is that? Deuteronomy 20. Look for another curse. All right. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28:22. Yahweh shall smite thee with consumption, with a fever, with inflammation, with a stream burning, with the sword, and with blast, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish from the diseases, man. All right. And then what? Esau ruling over them. Deuteronomy 28 and 43. It said, the stranger that within thee should get up above thee very high, thou shalt come down very low. Talking these heathens. All right, we had them in slavery. It said, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And said they was shocked. They got overthrown. They weren't expecting it, man. All right. It's the same thing that was going on with Jake in West Africa. Jake was shocked, man. All right. It says right here, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, and hunger and thirst and nakedness and want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon the night till he had destroyed thee. And it happened to them too. A yoke of iron put on their neck. And then one other thing, they go to Esau to go down to Mexico. Yeah, go to the grocery stores. They want something political. They go to whoever political office down there. All right, that gas bill, that water bill, everything, man. Yoke iron neck, what? And they was sold into slavery right here. Nuno D. Guzman. All right, this from the HuffPost. Chances are you heard of Herman Cortez, the great Spanish story, will just found the soil snatched. Now the country Mexico away from Palo Aztec and by Montezuma in 1521. All right, but this is not about Cortez, but Nuno D. Guzman. Spain's bad boy in Mexico. So I'm going to skip down here. It said, chances are you heard of Herman Cortez, a great Spanish conquistador who had just found soul snatch what is now the country of Mexico away from the power of Montezuma, but like you never heard of Nuno D. Guzman, one of Cortez's top captains. Maybe Cortez had a better public relation man, but Guzman was almost as big as a conquistador, having led an invasion of the better part of western Mexico, who for a while served as governor of a couple of states. Skip down here. It says, so off Guzman went with an army of 10,000 soldiers and had earlier gained a reputation for cruelty along Mexico's Gulf Coast, for instance, selling thousands of Indians to work as slaves on the Caribbean plantations. On the Caribbean plantations, what prophecy they go to right here. All right, go to what? Deuteronomy 28 and 48. All right. What you think they held on their neck? So they sent them over there to the Caribbean plantations. Yoke of iron. Go right here, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. All right. It says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Though for it talking about captivity, it's also talking about America. By the way, wherever I spake on, thou shalt see no more again. There shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. No man should buy it on the slave markets. The Most High gave them up. The other nation, if I lost that commandment, no man should buy it. Nobody should save us. All right, because you probably have scholars like, well, what about, you said it's doleful talking about captivity in Egypt. But guess what? The so-called Haitians, they didn't come to America. They went over to the island, Hispaniola, the island over there. It was now Haiti, Dominican Republic. So does it mean they not Israelites? I mean, come on. All right. But guess what? You had Issachar. They didn't just go to the Caribbean islands. All right. Matter of fact, right here. This is page 42 from the book Africans and Native Americans by Jack D. Forbes. All right, it says in 1533, una esclava India, age 20, accompanied by a girl, was given part of a marriage dowry. In 1542, Esdro, age 25 years, wounded both Carrillos of the face, was freed along Pedro Indio. Both were Mexicanos, Mexican. Mexicano, natives of New Spain. New Spain is Mexico, man. All right, so they all over there in Spain. So they fulfilled Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Let's go another one. All right, page 47. The baptismal records of El Sagrario mentioned a Cache chief from Mexico, and El Indio Los de National de la India. The protocol had been severe before reaching Las Palmas. All right, so why is it Issachar, right? so-called Mexican Indian doing over there to Spain. All right. You feel Deuteronomy 28:68. Also Deuteronomy 28:64. Can you get baptized in that plantation Christianity? All right. It says right here, Deuteronomy 28:64. It's in Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even to the other. Thou shalt serve other powers which neither thou nor thy fathers had known, even wood and stone. That's doctrine, Christianity, Islam, etc. All right. Okay. So there you go, man. All right. There's no doubting that so-called Mexicans are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, man. All right. There's no doubt. All right. They are Hebrew Israelites from the tribe of Issachar. All right. I'm trying to find this other page. That was missing. All right. Like somehow it been erased, but it's from the book Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramid. All right. It's a lot. My screen froze, but all right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it for you all. All right. And this, all right. Just bear with me, Akio. All right, page 147. All right, so this happened in 1867. Even though they banned about slavery in Mexico, also in America, like, you had Jay Steele was enslaved. Right here, page 147. All right, it says. It says right here, if peons refuse, read it loud. If peons refuse to give up the land, the rulers and federal soldiers moving in, raping and murdering stubborn Yaquai, those Issachar down there, Yaquai Indians in Mexico, who showed title maps to their land signed by the King of Spain, were rounded up and sold into slavery to Yucatan Cicero planters at 70 pesos a head and extra profit for scientificos, meaning the Yaquai women, like the Greek Suez in Brian's time, preferred to throw themselves with their babies into the sea. Surviving Indians were left without wood, water, or any way of making a living off the land. In the United States, General U.S. Grant announced to investors that 7 million Aztecs are waiting to build railroads. Rockefellers, Aldrich, Golds, Harris, Guggenheim, and McCormick seized the opportunity to buy cheap land and hire dirt sheet labor to operate rail and mine concessions. Acting as middlemen and legal advisors, amassed quick fortune through the large legal fees, stock manipulation, kickbacks, payouts, such subject tricky, and selling arms and ammunition to Indian rebels that the government was officially exterminated. All right. All right. So, there you go, man. All right. So, the so-called Mexicans are Israelites, man. This guy clearly don't know what he's talking about. All right. So, I hope you all been edified. And I got more information on the tribe of Issachar, so-called Mexicans being Israelites. All right. So, I hope you all been edified and shalom.